The hidden power of silence in Stoic life. Does this sound familiar? You're constantly surrounded by noise, drained by pointless arguments and digital drama. You try to explain your side to win the debate, but you just end up feeling empty and unheard. What if the best way to get your peace back wasn't some new app, but a timeless principle practiced by some of history's wisest thinkers? Stoicism teaches that silence isn't emptiness, it's a choice. It's a position of strength and a powerful tool for mastering yourself. In a world that never stops talking, the person who learns when to be quiet is the person who is truly in control. So, let's explore 7 moments where choosing silence is the most powerful move you can make. This isn't just about being quiet, it's about being silent with purpose. Section 1. The silence of emotional control. The first, and maybe the most important time to embrace silence is when you feel that hot flash of anger. We've all been there. Someone hits you with an unfair criticism, an insult, or a betrayal. Your first impulse is to fire back and defend your pride. But the Stoics saw anger as a kind of temporary madness that destroys your judgment. It echoes the thoughts of the Emperor Marcus Aurelius, who believed that the consequences of our anger are far more painful than whatever caused it in the first place. When someone provokes you, they want a reaction. They want to see you lose your cool. Your outburst is their win. By choosing silence, you refuse to give them that satisfaction. You don't let them drag you down. This isn't being passive, it's actively defending your inner peace. That pause is everything. In that quiet moment, you can look at the anger without letting it control you. You can ask yourself, do I really need to respond? Will this bring me peace in the long run? Most of the time, the answer is no. That's the silence of self-control. Section 2. The silence in the face of gossip and slander. Next up, silence is your best friend when you're the target of gossip. It's awful to hear your name attached to lies, and your first instinct is to correct the record and plead your case. But the Stoics would tell you to take a different approach. Here's the thing. Engaging with gossip just gives it more oxygen. Arguing against a rumor only helps it spread. By frantically defending yourself, you're showing everyone that their opinions have power over you. You're basically handing them the keys to your own emotional state. Epictetus, a philosopher who was once a slave, gave this advice: be silent for the most part. Or if you speak, say only what is necessary, and in a few words. When you're dealing with slander, the strongest response is often a dignified silence. It shows you're unshaken because your self-worth is built on your character, not on what other people think. In the end, a good life will always speak louder than a cheap rumor. Section 3. The silence of true listening. Now, let's shift from using silence as a shield to using it as a bridge. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, famously said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more than we say." Think about your last conversation. Were you truly listening, or were you just waiting for your turn to talk, already planning your reply? The third moment for silence is when someone is sharing something with you, their pain, their joy, their ideas. Real listening is an act of silent empathy. It's not about jumping in with a solution or telling your own story. It's about creating a space where the other person feels genuinely heard. When you hold back your own words, you're giving them a gift. You're telling them that they matter. This kind of active, quiet listening builds deeper connections than 1,000 words of advice ever could. Before you speak, ask yourself, is what I'm about to say really more helpful than the silence I'm about to break? Section 4. The silence of deep focus. Let's be honest, our world is designed to distract us. Notifications, endless feeds, and the pressure to be online 24/7 absolutely wreck our focus. The fourth way to use Stoic silence is to create deep focus and mental clarity. The Stoics made a point of carving out quiet time for reflection. They'd think in the morning to prepare for the day and review their actions in the evening. This wasn't about emptying their minds, but about tuning out the world's noise so they could actually hear themselves think. When you intentionally create pockets of silence in your day by turning off your phone or just finding a quiet corner, you take back your attention. In that stillness, you can filter out the junk and focus on what's actually important. That quiet is where the real work gets done. Section 5. The silence of humility. This next one can be tough, especially today. The fifth moment for silence is when you're tempted to brag about your accomplishments. In a world obsessed with self-promotion, the Stoics argued for humility. They believed that if you've done something worthwhile, you don't need to advertise it. Your actions speak for themselves. Epictetus warned against making your own great deeds the main topic of conversation. Constantly talking about your successes is really just looking for applause because you feel insecure. A truly confident person finds satisfaction in doing the thing, not in getting praised for it afterward. So instead of talking about the favors you've done, maybe talk about the help you've received. Let your achievements stand on their own. The silence of humility doesn't make your accomplishments smaller. It gives them a quiet dignity that bragging never can. True greatness doesn't need to shout. Section 6. The silence of strategic power. Silence isn't just for inner peace, it's also a source of power in how you deal with others. The sixth time to use it is during important conversations or negotiations. Most people are deeply uncomfortable with silence. They rush to fill it, and when they do, they often say more than they meant to. Imagine you're in a negotiation. You ask a tough question, and you get a shaky answer. What do you do? Instead of jumping in, just stay silent. Hold your gaze, be patient, and wait. The other person will often feel the need to keep talking, and they might just clarify their position or give up a point they were trying to hide. Your silence shows that you're calm, in control, and not easily rattled. It's not about being manipulative, it's about getting to the truth. By mastering the pause, you control the pace of the conversation. Section 7. The silence of true wisdom. When was the last time you heard someone in an argument just say, "You know what? I don't know enough about this to have an opinion"? It's rare. The final moment for silence is the one that comes with true wisdom, admitting you don't know. The Stoics, like Socrates before them, knew that a huge part of being wise is knowing how much you don't know. Speaking like an expert on something you don't understand isn't just foolish, it's dishonest. When you find yourself in a discussion that's over your head, the smartest and strongest thing you can do is just listen and learn. This kind of silence isn't weakness, it's intellectual honesty. It's what opens the door to real learning, while pretending you know everything slams it shut. Now, the Stoic path is all about practice, day in and day out. If these ideas hit home for you, subscribe for more practical wisdom to help you build a more resilient life. Like this video to help other people find it. And now, for a little Stoic reflection of your own. Share in the comments which of these 7 situations is the biggest challenge for you, and what's one small way you could start practicing silence there. In conclusion, so we've covered the silence of emotional control, of deflecting gossip, of real listening, of deep focus, of humility, of strategy, and of wisdom. In the Stoic view, silence isn't a void, it's a space full of potential. It's the canvas where you can create a life of reason, peace, and strength. In our loud, reactive world, choosing stillness is a revolutionary act. By embracing the power of silence, you're not running from the world, you're engaging it more skillfully. You're building a fortress of inner peace that no amount of outside chaos can ever tear down. I'll leave you with a final thought from Marcus Aurelius. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. And maybe the first step is to find the silence that good actions come from.